So I haven't done a YouTube in a long time, and I do a lot of the choral work, so I was thinking maybe some of you might be interested in watching just exactly how I go about making some of the paintings. Since I've done so many, it might be something of interest. So I'd be willing to show you if you want. I'm going to go ahead and go from scratch. I technically don't plan on what I'm going to do usually until I sit down. My mind is a little bit bent, so it sort of decides first, and then for the most part I follow it, which is kind of the way I do most everything. It's usually just chasing after myself. But I'm willing to put in the work because I technically don't necessarily have complete ownership over my body and mind, so today is a new day. Anyways, do you have any special requests on who I should do any choral for? Um, no, I've done enough of her. Um, who else? Do you guys want to see a really good one? I'll show you a really good one. How do you spell her name again? Oh. This is how I actually use my, this is actually how bad of a speller I am. Don't tell anybody. Plus, I never ever spell her name. I usually know it sometimes, so just don't tell her. Anyways, so yeah, I type in a name, and then I go to images, and I'm like, and I usually wait until one jumps out at me. Sometimes I'll go page after page after page and then make sure I look at all of them. And then I'll backtrack and think, oh wait, I guess I really did like that one, or that one was the best. So then I'll go back and choose which one. Actually, a lot of these aren't her, but she's a Victoria's Secret model, in case you don't know. Jesus H fucking Christ, did I spell her name wrong? Anyways, this is Izabel-Goulart for Victoria's Secret. And, anyways, these are her pics. Why didn't you guys tell me I spelt it wrong? Didn't I rewrite it like 5 times and still get it wrong? That's my life, to be honest. Plus, I was talking and typing at the same time, so you have to just give me some space. Anyways, this is Izabel-Goulart. Related searches, Miranda Kerr. And I usually go and I look over all of her pics, and then I decide I've seen all of them, and then I go back and I choose which one I want. I never talk about her because she's kind of a secret. I don't like giving all of the information out all at once just because of some bad history with internet. So don't get all that mad at me all the time when I don't talk about you, because it usually ends up coming back and biting me in my ass. So, which one do you all like? This is going to be a long YouTube, by the way, because from beginning to end, this is probably going to be about 30 minutes, because I actually have a lot of fun in making these, and plus I'm talking and looking at the same time. And usually when I talk, I visualize, so my eyes turn off. Don't tell anyone. So I actually don't do 2 things at once very well at all. And even since I've been talking this entire time, I don't think I've actually noticed a picture. That's just how much I concentrate when I speak. My articulation skills are really, really, really extensive, so I utilize virtually every ounce of energy just speaking, so I kind of go blind when I talk. Anyways, I'm looking now, and This is how particular I am. I could honestly see about 200 photos and not like any of them, and then only like one. Some photographers are like, I'm such a successful photographer. Like, really? Because I haven't seen any pictures that I like yet. Are you sure? So, um, and if you guys like turn up your volume really, 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 really loud, you might be able to hear something in my apartment that I haven't been able to pinpoint what it is. It's actually a siren that I don't know where it comes from. I can hear it when it's completely silent, and I'm like, what is that? I've been living here for a week and I can't understand where it comes from. It just keeps on going boing, 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 over and over again. And it's really faint, but if it's completely silent, I can hear it, and I don't have the slightest idea where it's coming from. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyways, are we actually doing a coral painting? Not really. Hmm. This one's nice. I actually like this one. Do you want to know the difference between a really good one and really good pictures and really bad pictures? Since I have you on the phone. This is the difference. I know how to spell her name. Immediately better pictures. It looks like photography. How about that? It's called common sense. Visual common sense. And yet nobody knows about her, and all of these look like they're actual photographs. So who's right and who's wrong? I leave it to speculation. She has what, about 50 pictures, and all 50 are good, and they look like they're done by photographers that make her look sexy and classy. That is the problem I have with the world. All of them are good. And then we go back to where Izabel-Goulart. See the difference? One picture, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is why I don't do some paintings for some people, because it's like, and then see, this is like supposed to be a really great picture. Why? Like, why? Just explain that to me. When there's other people that can show off really great photography, why does the actual really expensive photographers decide that doing the opposite is the right photography? It makes virtually no sense whatsoever. I don't understand it at all. See, how many have we seen now? It's just, it's almost, it just doesn't seem real. So I think that we were going to do a picture today. This is actually a really nice picture. So we have a picture saved, and then this is actually the way I do everything. I go into Paint first, and I open it, and I go into my downloads, Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, and I say, what do I have? You're like, what was that? I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you. Select all, and then copy, and then and you go to open, my downloads, Selena, Taylor, actually that's not what I wanted to do. I was thinking before, usually I go to new because I try to keep them all the same size, and because sometimes you could do coral and you're like, and you get all done and it's not that big, or so you want to make sure that you pick the right size to start with, and then usually what I do is I import it from Paint, and what did it look like on Paint? If you want, you can do new image, open. This is how long it takes too. And you change it just to see if I'm missing any of it, because I don't want it to get to Coral Painter and see I was missing some of it. So now that I know that the image is different, then I go to new, and usually so the width basically would have to be about, see, really you just want it to be opposite, so you would do 1250 and then like 900, and now you have a completely different image. You can zoom out, you can grab the hand and move it over, and now that the canvas is changed, then you try pasting again, and like that's better. And it's still a really, really large image, and some of it isn't fitting on the screen, but you go to File or Edit, and you go to Free Transform, and then it changes it. And you got to make sure you hold down the Shift button, because when you hold down the Shift button, when you do this, it makes sure all the dimensions stay the same when you move it. So you hold down Shift, which I've just done, and you can shrink it, and then you let go of Shift, and then you can move it. And then you, now that you have it centered, then you bring it back and you decide how you want it. But you make sure you hold down the Shift button, because honestly, and I'm just going to show you, here's what happens when I don't hold down the Shift button. The dimensions can change. And if you let, so that's what happens. The Shift button is key. I found out on accident that how important the Shift button was. I ran across it in the help one time, so if that helps you, I hope it does. Whenever you want to cancel it out of this, the way I always do it is I just do a quick cheat, and I press this icon, and then it says, do you want to commit? Since I changed the dimensions, this time I'm going to say no, and when you say no, it goes back to the original. And then you start over, and then you go Free Transform again, and then you hold down the Shift again, and I'm going to shrink it because I know it was already too big first, and then I'm going to move it to where it needs to be on the canvas. And however you save it after you've moved it on the canvas will only save what's on the canvas, not where it actually started out, which was down here. So don't ask me why it actually didn't center it to start with, because I don't know. But anyways, so now that we have it, I personally always try to stretch it all the way to the borders to start with. That's just how I do it. I learn my own particular ways, and other people learn their own particular ways, but for me, I hold down the shift and I try to stretch it all the way to the canvas. Technically, if I wanted to, I could redo the canvas size, but I'll just, because I actually want to keep her torso or her lower abdomen in view. So we have a little bit of the canvas left, right? And we want all of the space needed. So you got it. Now that we know that we need a little bit more space on the canvas, you go back to new again, and then you say no, because it always asks that. And then we change the width to, since it's just a shade too wide, then you just go, I'm guessing about 12225 on the width, and then you say okay. And then you use your mouse to back out. That's how you do that. And then you get the hand, and then you center it again. And then you go to, since it's still pasted, since it's still copied from Paint, which most computers have, then you just paste it again. And you resize it again, free transform, hold down the shift again, and this is actually how long it takes to do just one single painting. So when you see that I like make something for you, believe me, I actually put a lot of time into it. And you stretch it to its parameters again. See, when you keep the parameters and you want it to fit, it'll actually steal some of the picture. So typically my guesses are usually like exact, but I think some of you stole my concentration, so I blame you. And anyways, so you zoom out. So sometimes when you see the picture and you're like, oh no, it's too big, it's like relax, chill, zoom out. It's deceiving, so don't get too scared. Grab the hand and you center it, and you got to do it all over again. This is how tedious it is, really. Oh, not that. And then you center it once more. And just like that, she's perfect. All aligned. And now that she's like centered and she's really, really happy, then what I do is I usually just click on this. And then do you want to commit? Yes. And now you have the start of the new picture in Coral Painter 11, which I actually really like. So now just the question is what do you want to do to it? And I usually brainstorm and I'm like, what can I do to it? Kind of a lot. You could make her stand out. There's actually a lot. Oh, I could teach you. Do you want me to teach you, or do you want me to do a painting? I could try and do both. I guess the options, like I said, this is probably going to be 30 minutes. And we're already up to 20.